Hello. Today I have a more serious video for you guys. And what better place to go for a serious video than Reddit? So, we are doing a reaction / analyzing hot takes for Hollow Knight the Silksong. This video is going to be less heavy on the edits and more like a discussion. So if you want to leave your opinion, comments below is the best place. Let's start with this post on the Silksong subreddit. The first one says, most enemy gauntlets are good addition to the game. I agree. It is not a hot take. It's just a fun fight. Some of them might be a bit too long, but that's pretty much it. Bile water is a well-designed area. Now this one is a bit spicy. I guess we have opened this discussion for years concerning Miyazaki's poison swamps, and I think we've talked about this at such length that we can't really make any more progress in this area. Like, my personal opinion is that if the area is well designed, like bile water here, you can get away with it. It's a bit annoying, yes, but it serves a purpose in the game. It gives you a bit of anger, a bit of anxiety. It helps raise tension. Now, if you played Blighttown on the original version of Dark Souls 1, and you went through it in 7 frames, in 7 FPS, then yes, that's a problem. But the area itself is not bad. You play it on the remaster of the Dark Souls 1 game, and you're fine. It's not your best area, it's not your favorite area, but it has a place in the game, and I think bile water serves the same purpose in the Silksong. The only thing for me is that the best bench in the area is triple times hidden, like behind 7 breakable walls or whatever, and that's a bit hard to find, and that's the worst thing about the area, that you need that bench in order to even be close to the sacking boss up there. If you know, you know, and that makes it a bit difficult to navigate and a bit frustrating. If you haven't found the bench, you need to do a fucking marathon to get back up to the boss. But overall, it didn't frustrate me that much. Yes, another one about the High Holes gauntlet. I agree. It was a good gauntlet. It went forever. That one especially went forever. Like, I got to that when you fight a big bulky guy and you think that's the end, and then you have the other half, which is the same fights but doubled. I agree that it's a bit long, but it's fun. It's challenging, it's fun, I'm good with it. Delivery is funnier in Silksong than the first game. You know what? I think I can agree with this one. But that does not make it good. It does not make it fun to do. I suffered doing the one that's actually mandatory to do, that you have to take the food up to that guy so that you can get the oil and upgrade your nail or your pin. I suffered. I had fun though, but I play Souls games, so I can see why some people had trouble with that one. But yeah, overall, delivery in Silksong is better than the Flower Quest in Hollow Knight. It still doesn't make it good. If it was not in the game at all, I would be the same man as I am today. Nothing changed. Okay, this one, I completely agree with this. Silksong's music is less memorable and more ill-fitting in places compared to Hollow Knight. 100%. Hollow Knight's music, I still listen to it almost every day. And I haven't played the game in like a year or 2. Silksong, has some great music, obviously. Christopher Larkin worked on both, and he's an incredible artist. But there is something about Silksong music that is less memorable. He sticks to you less. I have some songs that I remember, but they are mostly the ones from the Citadel. Every other thing is Silksong. I don't really listen to. I don't really think about it. Say, oh, yeah, Silksong. That's a good music, huh? Like I do that with Expedition 33, which I'm gonna make a review sometime. I don't know when. The next one is Hades 2. But Expedition is going to come. But yeah, I don't think that Silksong music is as good as Hollow Knight's. It misses some things, you know. It misses a sealed vessel theme. That's my favorite one from Hollow Knight. It fits in the story and the fight with the Hollow Knight so well. We don't have another piece of music that actually tells the story as much as Sealed Vessel does. And I was really disappointed in the menu music of Silksong. You have Hollow Knight's menu music, which is very simple but very, very memorable. You actually know that the moment Hollow Knight pops up, you open it on Steam, you know you're playing Hollow Knight, you're in there. With Silksong, I didn't feel quite that way. I think that it's less Hollow Knight. It doesn't give you that vibe of entering a world with Team Cherry, and it's a bit of a shame. I really expected Silksong to have even better music than Hollow Knight. I thought that I would get Expedition 33 music and Silksong music fighting for the prize this year, but it's Expedition 33 is just a level above Silksong in this area. I subjectively think the combat was better in Hollow Knight. Now, as the comments are saying, this is a hot take. I think that Team Cherry thinks that they leveled up the combat in Silksong, and in some ways they did. But me personally, I really agree with this take. I think I agree with it maybe even more than the music take. About the same. Let's say about the same. It's an S tier hot take for me. I like the combat more in Hollow Knight. I really missed having actual spells that you can use, because I found the spells in Silksong to be not as usable, both in the actual usability sense. Like, I think the spells in Hollow Knight are just better, and because the soul or silk in Silksong, the silk economy is very different. You need to use a lot of silk to do healing for 3 masks. You don't have the single mask healing that you have in Hollow Knight. You can't really budget it as much to use with spells. Like with Hollow Knight, you had 3 spells, and you could use those spells. You could heal in the middle. You could choose when to use spells. When you have an overfill of soul, you could use to not use spells and save it for healing until you are back at a lot of health, and then you can use spells again. With Silksong, I never found myself using spells because I could use tools. Why use spells and lose the ability to heal when I can just use tools for the offensive purposes and keep all of my silk so that I can actually heal myself and not lose the fight? I guess, if I haven't watched any runs yet, but I'm sure that the speedrun runs have a lot of chaining spells and tools and all that to do the maximum damage, but we're not talking about that. Here in the real world, where you're actually playing Silksong for the first time, genuinely don't think that there is a reason why you should use spells, why you should make like a spell build. There is not a spell build. You don't have Summon Stone in this game, but still, you get what I mean. With Hollow Knight, you could use spells freely. I didn't feel the need to budget and stop using my spells so that I can have healing in my back pocket, because whenever I was with 1 or 2 masks, I could just hit the enemy like 2 times and heal for 1 mask. I didn't have to fill my whole gauge in order to use healing. That's a big part, like spells are a big part of the combat in Hollow Knight. And an extra thing that I think it's less talked about is that the crests, even though on face value you only have 1 crest in Hollow Knight, you only have 1 moveset, and in Silksong you have like 7 or 8, I don't remember how many they are. So you're like, oh, the combat is so much evolved. Not really. Like, most people, myself included, will probably pick 1 or 2 crests that they like, 2 max, and just continuously use that crest and learn the moveset and use it for the whole game. I personally stuck with the one that gave you the Hollow Knight moveset, because I liked having the pogo, the actual quick pogo, so that I can bounce on enemies and move around quickly. So I wouldn't say that having a lot of crests is necessarily a level up. It's a different direction from Hollow Knight, and it for sure actually helps more people to get into the game, not get into the game, but actually express themselves through the game and play with the combat style that they want. But I don't think that it necessarily makes it better. So for me, Hollow Knight combat is better. I liked the Knight's dash as well, which is surprisingly not as much of a problem on platforming, that they have a different dash, as it is in the actual game. Like, I really liked the Knight with the shade dash, or I don't remember, shade cloak. It's been a long time. That you can pass through enemies. Hornet doesn't have that, or at least I didn't find it. If it is in the game, I doubt that it is. I like that. The iframes dodge, I like that it goes straight. Hornet does that kind of. It's a curve. That's what I want to say. It's a fucking curve. So you fall on the enemy when you dodge, and it doesn't quite feel snappy as much as Hollow Knight feels. So with all that stuff, and I didn't really like any of the tools. Let me say that. Not that they weren't good to use, they were, but they didn't have the flashiness and the coolness and the impact that the Hollow Knight spells had. So for those reasons, this went for a long time. For those reasons, I agree with this hot take. Alright, next one. The first sinner isn't even cracking the top 10 Silksong boss fights. Maybe not even top 20. If I sit back and really think about how I feel on Silksong bosses, everything the first sinner did, Widow and Grandmother Silk, even the Radiance did better. Okay, this is a wild take. I've been agreeing with all of these, but this one it doesn't click with me. The hype I felt beating the first sinner on the first try was insane. I found that boss by accident. I mean, you don't really find it by accident, but I wasn't planning. I hadn't, benched I just found the room. I had the simple key, or do you use it? I had the key, whatever key it was. I opened it, went in, and I got one of the most hype fights you could have in Silksong, for me. The Widow and Grandmother Silk, both of them, they didn't feel like the first sinner for me. Maybe because I was kinda prepared for them. I don't know. But I don't agree at all. Even on a design standpoint, the first sinner is just... It felt so evil, and so like the area you were in, everything. Just it gave you an eerie feeling. And then in phase 2, everything starts zooming quickly, and bam, boom, boom, Yes, Widow and Grandmother Silk have similar movesets. Like, I think it's just personal preference at that point. I didn't find I mean, Widow was a early boss, but Grandmother Silk, I didn't find her fight really that special. Like, compared to what I was expecting with the Hollow Knight fight from Hollow Knight, I felt it was a bit of a letdown, even though I agree that most bosses in Silksong are a level up over Hollow Knights. Grandmother Silk wasn't mechanically super interesting or difficult or both, which also goes for the standard Hollow Knight fight. It wasn't really anything super special, but it had the story behind it. With Grandmother Silk, you don't feel anything that much. It doesn't have, the sealed vessel theme that we talked about before. It doesn't have the I'm stabbing myself to get the fucking infection out and sacrifice and all that the Hollow Knight fight has, and makes it so incredible for me. So I don't see this at all. First Sinner, excellent fight for me. Probably one of my favorites in Silksong in general. Okay, I wanted to move on to the second post that I have opened up, but I saw this, and this one is an even worse hot take than the previous one. This guy says, Wanderer's Crest is brain-dead design. Instead of learning interesting movesets, it's just straight numbers. It wouldn't be so bad if it was a starting crest, but Hunter is designed way better. How have you survived so far on Earth with a brain this dead? I don't know. It's a way different moveset from the Hunter. Just the pogo itself. Hunter's Crest makes you go diagonally down, while the Wanderer's Crest is basically the Hollow Knight moveset from... not the Hollow Knight, the Knight moveset from the first game. And it's way faster. It's way more up close. Why should I try to play with the Wolverine moveset if it's so interesting when I don't like it? There is no point in criticizing a crest since the game gives you every single option on every bench to sit down, swap the crest you don't like, play with the one you like. That is why crests are there in the first place. I can't really comprehend this take. Like, it messes with my brain. I would say that even if it was the crest that I was not using, because I was using the Wanderer's Crest. I like the quick hits, the nice pogo, all of that. We've talked about that. But even if it was, let's say, the Wolverine's Crest that I didn't like, the Beast, I think it's called, I would say the same thing, even if he was talking about that this way. What's the point of criticizing a crest just because it's not your preference? Team Cherry gave you 7-8 crests so that you can play around and find the one that you personally like. If you don't like the Wanderer's Crest, don't use it. It does not mean that it is brain dead. It's different. It's way far away from the Hunter's Crest. I was actually disappointed starting the game and playing with the Hunter because I didn't like that pogo. It made me... I wanted to snap my controller every time I went to a spike because I wanted to pogo the enemy and I couldn't. Let's move on. Okay, let's check this post on the PS5 subreddit for a few extra ones. I'll try to keep it shorter. I don't want this video to go on for like 50 minutes. So let's see. The runback lengths aren't that bad. However, the enemies in those runbacks make them insufferable, some of them. I would have to agree. The length wasn't always the problem. On some of them, it was. It definitely was on some of them. And I don't think changing the enemies on that one really it will make any difference anyway. But on the one that the runback wasn't the problem, you had enemies making them a problem. So it's like you can't have it one way, you can't have it the other, because Team Cherry just decided that every runback should be bad, either if it is the length or it's the actual enemies that are blocking you. I struggled with some of them, like emotionally. I wanted to stop, and it was like, okay, I'm not playing. I'll come back like in 2 hours. Yeah, overall, I would say that this is a good take, but some runbacks did have a huge length, and I would like to see like a bench closer to the boss. It doesn't have to be next. It doesn't have to be like Elden Ring, that we have the stakes of Marika, even though those are the things that actually, I think, reprogrammed all of our brains from the long runbacks. Now we're, next to the boss. But in my opinion, Silksong didn't have any bosses that are on the level of Elden Ring in terms of difficulty, even though I found Elden Ring to be somewhat easy. The Elden Ring hard bosses are not even close to what Silksong has. Like, Silksong is in difficulty like 2 levels down from like Mesmer or Radahn, like the DLC fight, Radahn, the consort. So I don't think they were that bad. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now this is an interesting one. Way too many people bought into the meme and the hype without having played Hollow Knight, and now many people bought the game when they shouldn't have. Basically, that's what this says. And they also mention that that's why you have a lot of negative reviews, which is interesting. I was checking Steam before this video, and you could see a lot, even though the majority is still positive, you could see a lot of negative reviews with people having 100 hours into the game, 130 hours, and saying that, oh, I played Hollow Knight first, I love Hollow Knight, all that stuff. And I read most of them that I could, as many of them as I could, and the main problem was the difficulty of Silksong. So you have, 2 different opinions here. The guy on Reddit says that it's people that didn't know what they were getting into. But then on Steam, the reviews that I saw said that, hey, I played Hollow Knight, I thought Silksong was too difficult. Which, to be honest, this is a cliche, but I think that the answer is somewhere in the middle. There were a lot of people that played Hollow Knight that are not necessarily like Souls like fans, like they don't play Dark Souls, Elden Ring, all that stuff. Which Hollow Knight, they don't mention it as much, but Hollow Knight is a Souls like. Whether you like it or not, same with Silksong. It just, the combat aspect and the world and the story, all of it, the way it's formed it's so inspired from Miyazaki's work and from software in general. But because it's gift wrapped in a cute 2D game with bugs and all that stuff, I think a lot of people that weren't into the Souls-like genre got into Hollow Knight and stayed and liked Hollow Knight because it wasn't that difficult. It was, but Silksong is more difficult. So I can see people having played Hollow Knight coming into Silksong and be like, oh, hold on, this one is a little bit different. Like, this one is different, especially if you were a player in Hollow Knight and you didn't really get into the combat. So you play Silksong now, you don't really use your tools, you don't, min-max. You don't min-max your stats, you don't chase after upgrades, you don't try to find the best charms and tools and all that to actually use and make a proper build. I think that Silksong might be too difficult, and you see some negativity there, but also the guy on Reddit has a point. Like, people like one of my best friends likes Hornet more than the Knight, so he's like, okay, I'll buy Silksong, I'll not play Hollow Knight, I'll play Silksong first. I was like, okay, but it's hard. You will find this hard if you haven't played Hollow Knight. Silksong will be difficult. It will be very difficult. I can't really comprehend it because I've got like almost 1,000 hours in Hollow Knight with randomizers and all that stuff. But even I found it difficult at some points. So the answer is somewhere in the middle. Like, both people that have played Hollow Knight and people that came in from the hype, both of them can be impacted from the raised difficulty. And that looks to be the most discussed thing, like the difficulty of Silksong. That's why it's so negative. But yeah, I can also see what this comment says, that two of their friends that play 2K or something like that got the game without knowing what it is, and difficulty or not, they just didn't like what they got because they didn't know what Hollow Knight is. Silksong became so big that it's understandable that people wanted in on the hype, especially when Team Cherry comes out and prices the game at $20. Who else does that? Even Expedition 33, that's a very praised game for its practices. We're not talking about the actual content here. We're talking about the selling. That's 50. Silksong is less than half. It's 20. It really is incredible what Team Cherry did, and it for sure got a lot of people into the game that otherwise wouldn't have even tried it. So yeah, I agree. Okay, this one talks about the pogo design being changed. We've talked about that in a lot of the previous ones. As other people are saying in the comments, you get several other pogo styles. You can get the old style as well, so this is just wrong. Like, this is an opinion that you have having played 1 hour of the game. So no, it was not good. It was good to give us different ones, but if Team Cherry, let's just say that Team Cherry just straight up changed the pogo on all of them, you can't use any other thing and you only have the dive. Nope, very bad idea. I don't like it at all. Okay, final two, just because this one is very short. This guy says that it's insane that you have to have the compass equipped to show your position on the map. It's wrong. You do have to have equipped, but the game straight up gives you a extra slot while playing the game, so that you can actually put the compass in and use it, as a compass. Doesn't take anything away, especially in Silksong, where you have actually all your tools color coded. I was struggling to find any other yellow tools that are actually useful and that I actually want to use. I don't know, like I never, even in Holland, I never felt that the compass was a problem. It takes one notch in Hollow Knight. In most builds you're gonna have one notch open anyway, like unless you're actively like completely min-maxing, but if you do that you're probably fighting a boss, and if you're fighting a boss you can just disable the compass the first time you die and put something else in. And I guess that you know the way from the bench, since you've already gone there. And the final one, which is actually a few different ones that I saw while scrolling here. People saying, I mean, this is the PS5 thread, so it makes sense that we get some different opinions than the actual Silksong thread? Subreddit. Anyway, I'm not Reddit a lot, as you can see, so yeah. This one says, and a lot of others say, I don't understand the hype for this series. I tried playing it and it plays like thousands of other indie games. When I see comments like this, I immediately understand that you don't really play other indie games. Maybe you play some, but definitely not a lot. Hollow Knight and Silksong as well, they don't revolutionize anything. I agree with that. We had Metroidvania since, obviously the Metroid and Castlevania days, and the mechanics are not, anything super special. But what they do perfect. All their mechanics are so excellently implemented by Team Cherry. They are so well woven together. The game plays so amazingly well, it handles so crazy well, that I really don't understand how someone can actually play the game and think that it plays like thousands of other indie games. I don't get it. I've played hundreds of other indie games. I love it. I play double the amount of indie games in a year that I play actual AAA games. And that goes to, Metroidvanias, platformers, roguelikes, all that stuff. And I haven't found another game that plays so well that I want to replay it over and over and over and over and do randomizer runs and all that I did with Hollow Knight, and I'm going to do with Silksong as well. It's just baffling to me. I can see, like, looking from the outside, like you say, hey, I saw this trailer for Silksong, and it doesn't look that different. It doesn't have insane graphics or something like that, even though I think the art direction and the actual art is very good. It's not mind-blowing. It's not anything like that. So I can see someone not having played the game saying that, hey, it looks like a pretty standard. But having played the game, I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't know. It's kind of frying my brain a little bit. I thought it was worth the hype. The game was excellent. It just gives you a feeling that you don't really get with any other games. Hollow Knight. It's just one of the best games ever, in my opinion. I think it's reflected with what an impact it has had on the industry. Yes, Silksong's delay was a big reason why it was so popular right now, but it would still be an insanely amazing game even if it didn't have the commercial success that it had right now. We don't measure games measure games quality, at least, based on the commercial success they had. If that was the case, Fortnite and Minecraft and GTA would be the best games ever by far, and everything else, like, don't even play it. Just buy those 3 games and you're done. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. I've played obscure indie games, no pun intended with Claire Obscure. I played obscure indie games that are worth 10 times all the AAA games that are released every month. On all the fronts, this take, I do not agree with it in the slightest. I can see why you don't like, why you might not like Silksong. I can accept this. I have no problem with people having different opinions and different likes, but you can't say that you don't like Silksong because it plays like other indie games that you liked. I can't, my brain can't fathom it. So we're gonna close with that. Silksong is an insanely amazing game. I'm very excited for Game of the Year this year, even though I don't like what they do and the decisions they take sometimes. I don't like them at all. I don't like that they are pressuring everyone, to be quick and all that with the speeches. Anyway, this is not a video for that. I'm very interested because we had some amazing games this year, and Silksong is going to be one of them. So, and deservedly so. Silksong was amazing. Even though I liked Hollow Knight a bit more, Silksong was insane. Please leave a like and a comment and a sub if you like this video and you want to see more. There are gonna be more videos like this coming. I have a Hades review in the works, probably next week or the week after, I don't know, we'll see. And of course Expedition 33. Those are the 2 videos that I really want to make because they are both amazing games. But if you'd like to see more hot takes, we can do hot takes for Elden Ring, let's say, or Expedition, we'll see. A lot of stuff coming. I have a lot of fun making this, so I hope you like this as well. That's it. End video.